Hi everyone and welcome to Courtside with USTA Eastern. I'm Harry Chickma here alongside Katrina Adams on the grounds of the Billie Jean King USTA National Tennis Center, the home of the US Open and definitely a gem for the Eastern section. Katrina, you are a legend in tennis in my opinion. You're the vice president of the board of directors for the USTA. Also a great career on the pro doubles tour, 20 titles in doubles. And now here in USTA Eastern, this section means so much to you. Talk about the section and what makes it so special.
Well, for me, I've been living in the USTA Eastern section for the last 5 years, almost 6 years, and I hit the ground running when I moved here, getting involved in a lot of the programs that they have. Because I run the Harlem Junior Tennis and Education Program, I'm really indoctrinated into junior tennis here in the section. So having my kids involved in tournament play, but also in junior team tennis is huge for us.
And it is one of the best sections in the country, in my opinion. The competition is up there with Florida, Texas, Southern California, if not the best. What do you think makes these players so good, whether it be the juniors or the adults?
Well, I think the competition is excellent here in the Eastern section. I think the kids are really competitive because we're indoors. You know, they really have to stay focused a lot on the minimum court time that they have. So to be able to come out and play for 2 hours a day, maybe only 3 or 4 times a week, they really give it their all, which makes their competitive nature that much better.
And so many different initiatives. I know the annual dinner is something that people look forward to, and the volunteer workshop, helping the volunteers who help so many events take place here. What do you know about the annual dinner? Tell me about that event.
Well, the annual dinner is in January. It's where they really honor some of the best people within the section with awards, Woman of the Year, Man of the Year, Facilities of the Year, Junior Awards, and it's such a highlight for the competitors and the volunteers alike in the section. Without the volunteers in the section, they really couldn't accomplish many of the tasks that they have at hand, and a lot of the programs could not be as successful without having those volunteers involved. There's 6 regions in the Eastern section, and you have a president from each region that are involved. So to really have these people dedicate their time and go out with their commitment is huge.
And what are some initiatives you have as the vice president of the board of directors? And you are here in the Eastern section, so definitely a big help here.
Well, I'm the vice president of the National Board of Directors, so really my focus is to give my time to the Eastern Board of Directors and help them accomplish their initiatives with the Big Six and what they're involved with. And D.A. Abrams is the executive director, and I really work closely with him, and Jeff Williams, who's the president of the Eastern section.
And what's the best website to go to help the Eastern section and get involved?
Well, you want to go to www.eastern.usta.com. And you can find all the information that you want to get involved in volunteering, to get involved in the junior programming, in the adult leagues, and everything else that the section has to offer.
Well, so much excitement here on the grounds of the Billie Jean King USTA National Tennis Center. For more on the annual dinner and also for the volunteer workshop, let's check out this great feature.
We have 3 major initiatives that we're trying to put into place to promote and develop the growth of tennis, and that is to concentrate on the junior team tennis. We have about 250 kids who play every Saturday night at either the National Tennis Center, Westside Tennis Club, or Randall's Island, where the World Team Tennis in New York Sport Times play. So they're all 3 venues where professional tennis players. The kids love that. And they play, as I said, every Saturday night. So we help subsidize and organize that league, so we make it affordable and get as many kids from as many different backgrounds as possible. And we just an entry-level program. So for some of these kids, it's their first experience with any kind of competitive tennis, and we try to move them on up and get them to play tournaments eventually. Another area where we're trying to promote the game of tennis is in the adult tournaments, where we're trying to get tournament directors to share best practices. We're trying to fund some of their tournaments to give some good giveaways, like pay for balls, pay for umpires, t-shirts, so that the tournament experience is an attractive experience, and they'll come back and play and help fill out their draws, and maybe these players will go try other tournaments. And then finally, we are trying to create a communications network among the community tennis associations in New York City. That's the non-profit grassroots organizations, and we're trying to get them together as often as possible.
Participating in sports teaches them how to cope. It teaches them how to deal with not just winning, but how to deal with losing. And as it was said this evening, they learn so much more from a defeat than they do from winning. And I mean, that crosses over to men as well. But I think sports just in general helps you with your self-confidence in such a huge way.
So what's a good website to go to for the Eastern section to get involved if you want to volunteer, really do anything?
Well, you want to go to www.eastern.usta.com to find all the information that you're looking for leagues, for junior team tennis, for any other program that the Eastern section is offering, and as well to find out how to volunteer.
Well, there's so much excitement here on the grounds of the Billie Jean King USTA National Tennis Center and a lot coming up on this Eastern broadcast. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Hi everyone and welcome back to the grounds of the Billie Jean King USTA National Tennis Center. We're here courtside with USTA Eastern, Harry Chickma, alongside the legendary Katrina Adams, and so many great initiatives here in the Eastern section, Camp Ace being one of them. I know you and Rodney Harmon had a big part in that, helping high school kids get to see what it is to train on the courts, but also get ready for life and college experiences. Tell me about Camp Ace.
Well, Camp Ace is a week-long camp where they invite the kids from around the section to come and participate and get expert coaching from Rodney Harmon, who led the camp this year. I was there along with Leslie Allen and a few other people that came to present. We did talking points for the kids. We really talked about futures in their careers outside of tennis, talked about the importance of education, but really on court getting expert coaching from the staff that was there to really take them through some high performance drills. It's different levels of players that are involved in Camp Ace, from the highest player down to a high school level, and they just have a great time.
Well, for much more on Camp Ace, you can go to eastern.usta.com, and we also have this great feature story showing all the excitement with Katrina, Rodney, and the players.
I was happy to be involved once I learned a little bit more about it, the fact that they're helping young kids, some of them at-risk kids, but just trying to bring tennis to the community. That's something I think that helped me when I was coming up as a player, having having different resources and having different people touch me and help me with my game. So hopefully, I can say hopefully that I've brought that, a little bit of that to the kids here in these last couple of days.
Well, I want to share with them information about their ground strokes and their technique, obviously. But the biggest thing is that they learn self-responsibility, to be responsible for self. And they have to learn to listen and hopefully take the information that they receive and make it a part of their game through their own efforts. And so they take greater responsibility for their own improvement.
I want them to understand the importance of tennis in terms of their development, in terms of their growth, in terms of the opportunities it can afford them for college and later in life, the networking, the social skills, and just the friends and the fun that they'll have. They learn a lot. They're on a college campus. They're taking several classes in social media, in nutrition, in etiquette, and in leadership that are going to help them as they mature and they go on in life. And tennis is the vehicle that gave them the introduction.
You want to become responsible for your own development, and also you never want to limit what you can do. You have no idea of all the things that you have the ability to do. And I hit my first tennis ball in Weequahic Park in Newark, New Jersey, many, many years ago with not much of a program. And I played in the NJTL program in my hometown in Richmond. And so to go where I started to where I got to, there's no limit to where you can go. The thing is, you always have to believe in yourself. And as my friend D.A. Abrams says, you always have to get out and make it happen.
Tennis, I think, impacts kids in a positive way, and that's why I'm so happy to continue to be a part of things that continue to bring tennis to kids in the community.
Well, Katrina, Camp Ace, you were there, you got to talk to the kids, you got to help them out. What do you think helps them the most with this great camp?
Well, I think just being motivated by some of the great coaches that are out there and to be competitive with the other kids. They're with kids that they don't typically see throughout the year. If they're living in different regions, they may not compete against one another depending on their level. Of course, the highest player, the highest level of player, they get to compete throughout the section. But your high school players, they're still learning to be competitive, to really play tournaments. So to be able to interact with the other players out there and the coaches and hear some of the expert seminars that were being provided, I think is an awesome experience.
And what's the best advice you would give a kid in the Eastern section here, you know, in New York, New Jersey, or parts of Connecticut, trying to make it to college? What's the best advice you would give them?
Well, first of all, I have to enjoy the sport, have a lot of fun, but make sure you really work hard. My motto is that you've got to work just as hard in the classroom as you're working on the court, because that's what really makes you the total player, because that's what the colleges are looking for. You've got to be competitive in the classroom as well as on the court. And so for these kids to really be focused and really having a great time and high energy, that's what colleges want.
Well, for much more on Camp Ace, check out eastern.usta.com. And there's a lot more coming up here on Courtside with USTA Eastern. We'll be right back after these brief messages.